always provides a warm welcome to Formula One, and as the drivers prepared for round one of the World Championship, there were smiles all round.
Welcome to Melbourne 2017.
The revised driving lineup at the champion Mercedes team had everyone intrigued and full of anticipation for the action to begin. From those keen to make their mark to established champions, everyone was in the mood to get the party started and find out what the new season and new regulations would bring. Questions surrounded the potential midfield runners. Force India and Renault appeared to be close in performance. But so did the American-owned Haas team, going into its second year. While Williams had experience on the one hand and youthful enthusiasm on the other. Sadly, the after-effects of a non-F1 racing accident prevented Pascal Wehrlein from competing, but that opened the door for Antonio Giovinazzi to make his Grand Prix debut. And even the team bosses were enjoying the sense of excitement and anticipation that permeated Albert Park.
Tell me, what two words would you use to describe each of your drivers?
One is talking, the other not.
The one is talking and one is not talking, so introvert, extrovert.
One dresses well, the other one dresses less well.
Okay, now you have to tell us which one you think dresses well and which one dresses not so well.
No, everybody should form an opinion.
Well, I'm just going to mention one driver this weekend, and that's Daniel Ricciardo. You know, he's got massive support here, and I hope it's a big weekend for him.
The best old driver and the best rookie driver.
France?
Beautiful and fast.
And Cyril?
One is German and one is British. The one that's British, I would have expected that he speaks a lot, that he doesn't speak. And that the one that is German, I would have expected that he doesn't speak and he speaks. So there is something, maybe it's because we are upside down.
The new F1 management structure of Liberty Media saw Chase Carey as the chairman and chief executive officer, while Ross Brawn was named as managing director motorsports and Sean Bratches as managing director commercial operations.
The fact there's three of us now carrying out a role that used to be handled by Bernie, I think is making a statement about where we want to go. Certainly the role that I'm going to perform hasn't been done by FOM before. So my role on the racing side will be to be proactive, to work with the teams, to work with the FIA, to find the right solutions to make our sport as great as possible in the future.
And being able to engage audiences in new ways, and particularly with social.
As the only Australian on the grid, Daniel Ricciardo was eager to deliver in qualifying, but he tried a tad too hard. Some crestfallen spectators had to accept that he wasn't going to be in the battle up front, at least in the early stages of the race. But he didn't appear too dismayed. So the grid saw Hamilton on pole from Vettel, with their teammates Bottas and Raikkonen on the second row. Max Verstappen lined up in 5th place, with Romain Grosjean 6th, and they were followed by Felipe Massa starting in 7th and Carlos Sainz 8th. The top 10 was completed by Danny Kvyat and Sergio Perez. Race day drama did not take long to unfold, as Daniel Ricciardo discovered on his reconnaissance lap.
I got a problem.
Understood. Can you describe the issue, please?
Engine's still running, but I'm stuck in gear. Just let me know if you want me to stay in the car.
Okay, Daniel, can you get out, please?
Christian Horner's consternation was clear to see. The recovery crew was quickly on the scene, and there was still time to return the car to the pits as the grid gradually assembled. But a pit lane start would be the very best that Ricciardo could hope for. The rest of the grid took up their position in preparation for the race start, with Hamilton on pole and the Ferrari of Vettel alongside, while his team principal Maurizio Arrivabene watched the monitors in the garage. The 2017 season blasted off with Hamilton making a peach of a start, while Vettel's was less effective, and that put him under pressure from Bottas. The Ferrari held second place into turn one, while further back, one or two drivers touched the grass, but everyone survived the first turn. Hamilton led, Vettel was second ahead of Bottas, while Raikkonen was fourth ahead of Verstappen. The midfield was looking cramped, but further back the first race incident of the year was to involve Magnussen and Ericsson. The Haas and the Sauber made contact. Both went into the gravel at turn 3, but kept their engines running and were able to limp back out. No blame was apportioned, but both of their races would be compromised by damage. At the Red Bull garage, a faulty sensor had been replaced, and Ricciardo was dispatched to chase the field. Much to the delight of the partisan crowd. Smoke from the back of a car is never a good sign, and sure enough, it signalled the end of the race for the other Haas car of Romain Grosjean on lap 13. A bitterly disappointing end after qualifying superbly in 6th. At the front of the race, Hamilton found he was struggling for grip, and Vettel had closed the gap as the pit window opened up. On lap 18, Hamilton was called in for what would prove to be his one and only stop of the race. The Mercedes crew prepared to change the 2017 spec wider tyres for the first time in the heat of competition. And he switched from ultra soft to soft tyres. Vettel pitted 5 laps later, having put in some rapid lap times on the ultra softs. The stop went cleanly, but even better for Ferrari was the fact that Hamilton had got stuck behind Max Verstappen. And as Vettel emerged from the pits and accelerated down towards turn 1, he was able to squeeze ahead of the duelling pair, and Mercedes knew that crucial track position had been lost. Toto Wolff was not a happy man. Verstappen continued to harass Vettel as the Ferrari picked up speed on the new soft tyres. But once into the groove, Vettel was away. Hamilton was still losing time behind Verstappen, and Mercedes were attempting to come up with a solution.
We're thinking B now, thinking plan B.
Daniel Ricciardo's weekend had been pretty tough already, and it was about to end in similar fashion on lap 28. A lack of outright pace had been overshadowed by a lack of reliability for the Australian, culminating in a weekend to forget.
Okay, Daniel, P0. Sorry, mate, I was done.
Meanwhile, double world champion Fernando Alonso was having his work cut out to stay in the points. Esteban Ocon was determined to prove that his promotion to Force India was well deserved, while Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault was also engaged in the multicoloured battle for 10th. It all came to a head on the run into turn 1, where Ocon slipstreamed past Alonso and Hülkenberg attempted to take both. Ultimately, he had to settle for tucking in behind Ocon and ahead of the McLaren. Alonso had fought valiantly but was unable to fend them off, and as he continued to drop away, it became clear that he had some sort of suspension problem.
There is something wrong with the car. It's pulling to the left. Something on the suspension, maybe.
McLaren's racing director Eric Boullier had anticipated a difficult start to the season, but the fact that Alonso had run in the top 10 was encouraging. By now, Sebastian Vettel was heading to a relatively easy victory. To the delight of thousands of red-capped fans, Vettel rounded the final corner to take the first victory of the season, his second ever win in Australia, and Ferrari's first here in 10 years. Mercedes was soundly beaten into second for Hamilton and third for Bottas.
Forza Ferrari ragazzi, grazie a tutti, grazie, grande lavoro, grande macchina, con calma, Grazie.
The testing performance had not been misleading. Ferrari proved they had a fast car and delivered on day one. Vettel took Ferrari's first win at a season-opening race since 2010, while Hamilton had to settle for second and Bottas earned a podium first time out for Mercedes. Kimi Raikkonen was fourth ahead of Verstappen, while Felipe Massa earned good points for Williams in sixth ahead of Perez and Sainz. Danny Kvyat ensured both Toro Rossos were in the points, and Esteban Ocon scored for the first time in his relatively short career.